What's going on, guys? Aggronix, and welcome back to another analysis video. This time for week 7. We just wrapped up week 7. I'm recording this on Monday, and I'm doing this alone this week. The reason being is that because me, Joey, and Kraft tried to do this video, and there were a lot of technical issues, and Joey said he would do it tomorrow. Joey, I'm going to say right now, I'm very, very sorry, but I just remembered I had to pump out videos this week because there's a very special video coming out tomorrow or Wednesday, but I won't spoil it for you. Then we're going to go through the results of what happened during this week. This week was absolutely insane. There were matches that everyone predicted to happen. Some very, very, very important matches with Jay and Cubshoe. And then some very surprising, shocking wins. Being me and Sixpass. We'll get to that in a while. Basically, we're going to start off. We're going through each of the matches and then talk about the end, where everyone lies, and how this affects the rest of the tournament. So we're going to start off with Zach versus Zen, trio, and this match was really, really good. Zach and the Shroom Imperiors have a really, really great team, like I said. Blissey, Blastoise, Scizor, Thundurus, they have a really, really good team. Zen, on the other hand, he has a better team. I mean, okay. He definitely made the team his own. He still has the Mega Metagross, but he has the Clefable now, the Celebi. His team is really, really good. Just off those three alone, I think it's a great team. He has some lower tier threats like a Chandelure, which can put in a bit of work. So I think the overall team is good, but Zach did pull out the win as expected because Zach is top of the group. His team is really, really good, and I think Zach is definitely on his way to playoffs. Whether he makes it or not is completely up to him, but we'll have to see what happens. I didn't see this match, so I can't comment on it too much. But the scoreline says it all. I feel like Zach played really, really well because Zach is really, really good. But I can't comment on it, as I said. So we're going to move on, as my throat completely blocks up, to Doric and Steven, a match that I actually saw. So I'm going to actually be able to give my real analysis on what I think. So Doric and Steven was a disappointment. I wanted Steven... Oh, I didn't want Steven to win. Well, I did want Steven to win, but I didn't want someone to get trashed like they did. I want this to be a really, really fun, competitive match, and it really, really wasn't. This was really just Doric being Doric. He really just wrecked Steven, and Steven really couldn't do anything about it. I've team built with Steven, and we brought up the idea of Klinklang and Vileplume coming. I didn't think both would come. They did in the end, and it caused a lot of problems for Steven. Steven didn't know how to react to it. Steven isn't the best competitive player, so I knew him bringing Klinklang and Vileplume was definitely going to throw him off. He definitely messed up at the start, Electivire, letting Electivire get dwindled down with Life Orb and stuff and getting hit with Sludge Bomb. I'm predicting so wildly, like there was no reason for it. Why would he go into Klinklang on Electivire? There's no reason for it. He can't hit you. But he predicted that, and yeah. So I think that was very, very poor of him. Doric really, really was able to just sit down, calm down, you know, have a nice, peaceful week. Talonflame didn't even hit the field, I don't think. Didn't even have to come in. Salamence on Steven's side wasn't able to do anything. Scizor did kill the Crocodile, making it a 5-0 crit U-turn. I'm pretty sure the crit mattered. Well, actually, it probably didn't if the Crocodile isn't defensive, but it was a max attack Scizor. But the Crocodile dying is really, really good because at least Steven didn't get 6-0'd, and I knew that would have destroyed Steven emotionally. He would have been wrecked, but you know what? I think Steven really, really messed up at the start, and at that point, he just said fuck it. At that point, I don't think the score really matters to Steven too much. He can't make playoffs anyway. It just makes getting to playoff so much easier for Doric, because now Doric has no one really standing in his way, I don't think, and he doesn't really have to worry. As long as he wins the next 3 matches, he's in, no problem. So we're going to move on to Jay and the Kona Munchlax versus Cubshoe and the Long Island Rufflet Riders. Cubshoe, coming from a team that was the bottom, take over from another team. He had 2 losses under his belt coming into the league, and he has really risen in rank and showed that he is a threat in the Magma Conference, and he is very, very, he is a contender for the playoffs, for sure. He faced Jay. Jay has been on a bit of a losing streak, and this match does not help that. Jay lost against Cubshoe 3-0, the same as Zach and Zen. Jay's team, I don't feel like it was fully prepared for Cubshoe. It was a bit hacksy. Gardevoir wasn't able to. It's basically okay. Well, at the end, right, it was 3-0. It was 3-all or something. Gardevoir went for Destiny Bond on a calm-minded Florges. Florges went for Moonblast and gets a low roll, so the Gardevoir doesn't die and doesn't activate the Destiny Bond. And at that point, Florges Toxics instead, because he wasn't expecting the Destiny Bond. If that happened, Rotom Wash would have cleaned up the Cloyster and the Cobalion, and Jay probably would have won 2 or 1-0. Probably 2-0 if the Rotom Wash didn't have to come in, but I'm pretty sure it was, I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was definitely unfortunate. Jay can still make playoffs as long as he wins his next 3 games, and he really, because he's playing all the top tier people. He's playing Doric, he's playing Kraft, he's playing, I think, Steven. So if he was able to get a good differential against Steven, if he's able to beat Kraft and Doric, he's definitely in. And as long as he gets a good differential with Steven, he'll go through. If Steven beats him, that might mess things up. But we're going to move on to the final game of the Magma Conference. Kraft versus Pant. Very close 1-0. I definitely think I would recommend watching this battle. This was a really fun battle. Pant is new to the league. So there was a few things he was shaky on. He didn't know you had to Mega Evolve first turn with your Mega, so he didn't Mega Evolve with the Gyarados. It didn't end up mattering, thank God, because I was thinking Kraft should have stayed in with his Infernape on the Gyarados, because he could just close combat because he knew it was Mega. But if he was to do that, he was Mega Evolving, which is against the rules, and then it would have certainly mattered, and I probably Kraft would have won due to disqualification, because I feel like that's only fair. Because if it was Mega, close combo would have killed. But luckily he did swap out, so you know we never had to get into the logistics of everything. So Kraft won 1-0 with Tailwind Infernape. Hoop Unbound. Kraft is talking all this shiznizzle about his Hoop Unbound, and then gets one shot by an Icicle Crash. That was great to see. Weavile not being Focus Ash definitely didn't help. He definitely could have brought the game back if he played around a little bit more, was able to keep some things alive for his Infernape. But at the same time, Pant didn't really have a lot. His Raikou outspeeds it, sure, but that was really it. And Raikou was his only wall to his Mega Gardevoir, Kraft's Mega Gardevoir, that is. So, Pant's team was super duper offensive, so there was nothing he could really swap in. Which is unfortunate, because every time Kraft went into something, I felt like Pant was just sending out something to die. Which is pretty unfortunate, because, you know, I think Pant has shown, even with a garbage team against one of the best teams in the league, you know, being not Kraft, but you know what I mean, you know, being able to pull out a 1-0 is a great record. I feel like that's a great scoreline, especially for the type of game it was, because it was a little bit hacksy here and there. But I think Pant played great. Kraft obviously played very well as well. I'm not taking that away from him at all. Kraft played very well as well. Being able to put up the Tailwind at the end of the game won him the game, luckily enough, because I'm pretty sure the Terrakion was scarfed. So when it came to Terrakion and Infernape, Terrakion straight Scarf, and Infernape has a Tailwind behind him, Infernape will outspeed and close combat one shot. So it was a very narrow 1-0. Hopefully Kraft's Hoop Unbound will be able to do more stuff next week, but we'll have to see. So we're going to move on to the Aqua Division now. And this, oh my god, this, let's get to this. So we're going to start with, we're going to leave it to that. We're going to start with my battle. I faced the Kentucky Kabutops this week, and this was one of the most stressful matches I think I've ever had in my entire life. I was so nervous going into this match. I knew if I lost this match, I was out. There's no way I was coming back. And I thought I was out. I legitimately thought I was out of the league. No way I'm making playoffs now. But your boy came back and beat Sixpaths 2-0. Was it unfortunate for Sixpaths? Yes. I think Sixpaths could have won if he brought the right set on Lucario. If Lucario had any form of priority, I feel like he would have beat me. Because he had a nasty plot set up at that point. He could just close, like, Aura Sphere the things he had sped, and then extreme speeded or whatever the things he couldn't. Those things being the girder with Mach Punch and stuff. So he definitely could have won. The crit on the Dragonite with Hidden Power Ice from Lucario definitely mattered, because if he didn't get that, I wouldn't have to worry about the what if he had priority. Because if he was timid, I don't think I did the calc, because in the match I assumed that it was going to one-shot, but it wouldn't have one-shot if he didn't crit. So basically, if he was timid, it does 97 or 98% max. max. Absolute max. There's no way he would do any more than that. If he was modest, there's a legitimately 50% chance that he would have killed. So it really could have got either way, but because of the crit, none of those mattered, and he just straight up killed my Dragonite, which is unfortunate because Dragonite could have killed the Lucario with Earthquake, and then at that point the game might have opened up for me easier, and I could have just started killing things and not having to worry about Lucario and saving Gardevoir for the Lucario, which in the end Gardevoir didn't even come back into the game really for the Lucario because Milotic was able to wall it out. Milotic once again showing the MVP status that it so rightfully deserves, being able to wall out the Mew, the Lucario, the Heatran when it needs to, the Tornadus taking grass knots from it and able to hit it back. And no Scald Burns, the hacks was definitely in Six Paths' favour, but we were able to play past that and able to defeat Six Paths. It was a very, very, very important game for me. Important for Six Paths? Probably not. It was his first loss, and I'm pretty proud to say that I'm his only loss so far. Whether it matters for him, though, I'm not sure. We'll have to see. He's at 5-1, we're 4-2. So if Six Paths would lose again, he's definitely in jeopardy of not going to playoffs. But I think Six Paths is a good enough battler to, stay safe. So we're going to move on to North versus Joey. It was a 2-0 in Joey's favour, and this match was really, really interesting. Now, straight off the bat, Joey knocked out a few of his mons. He was able to knock out North's, I believe it was Mega... No, it wasn't Mega Swampert. What was it? The Gengar, possibly. Anyway, at the start of the game, it was 6-4. Joey was firmly ahead. Joey had the game under control. He definitely had the momentum the whole game. But he sacked off his Shaman, which was the only thing that beat Amoonguss, because Shaman had Psychic. After that, the game really opened up for North, and North was able to wall most of his team with Amoonguss. Luckily, Joey was able to get out of the situation. He was able to beat the Amoonguss eventually by whittling it down and basically doing the final blow to it. But that Regenerator core that North has with Tornadus T and Amoonguss has shown its strength. It's very, very strong. And Joey barely, with the skin of his teeth, was able to get out of that one. If the hacks was to support North, and he made a few more better plays, I think North maybe could have beat him, but no one really knows. Joey, if North was to make a play, then you could make the claim that Joey would make a play, so there's no real way of knowing. It was definitely a very, very close game. Closer than it should have been. I feel like Joey had the game under lock. Not to saying that North is bad, but in the first few turns of the game, you realise that Joey had this match under his control, and there's nothing really North could really do about it because his team wasn't really good against Joey, so it was pretty unfortunate for North. Another loss for North, but trust me when I say that I feel like North is going to take out someone very, very soon, so look out for that. So we'll move on to the Frank and the Sherbrooke Talonflames versus Bloom and the Philadelphia Flygons. Frank, thank you so freaking much for beating Bloom. I was watching this replay and I was like, I swear to God, Frank, please win. And he did. He beat Bloom 2-0, which is actually huge for me. Because I was saying that Six Paths, the Sorsen, Joey, me, we're all the contenders. And there was Bloom. But now that Bloom's lost against Frank, that might take some pressure off the four of us. And only three of us are going to playoffs, so that's definitely a race. But Frank was able to beat Bloom. A little bit of hacks, yes. The Chansey being able to wall the rest of his team with Frank was definitely crucial. The Alakazam screw up by Bloom was huge. Alakazam set up a Calm Mind on a Conkeldurr, thinking he was going to swap out. Conkeldurr just went for knockoff, brought it to a Swokasash, and then clicked Mach Punch. At that point, Bloom couldn't save the Alakazam because it didn't do anything, so he just let the Alakazam die, and that was a huge waste because Alakazam could have definitely done some work if he just attacked the Conkeldurr and knocked it out, which I think he should have. It's no point in hoping you can sweep a team when Conkeldurr wrecks you. I would just have killed the Conkeldurr and made sure that thing is gone because it was a huge problem for Frank, but he was able... the Conkeldurr was a huge problem. Wait. Yeah. Sorry. Frank got the Conkeldurr. Yeah. Bloom has Zapdos now. They traded. I'm so confused over that because they traded when they were going to battle each other next week, so that was pretty funny. But, the Pyro was pretty crucial on Frank's side. Pyro was able to come in and do a little bit of work. So Mega Slowbro proving to be very, very powerful in Frank's corner, swapping it for Mega Charizard X, and I was saying, I don't really agree with that, but after seeing how he used it, I feel like it's safe in Frank's hands. I feel like he knows what he's doing with it. Maybe he didn't know how to use Charizard X before, which is completely understandable. So it was definitely a great win, not only for Frank, but for me, because Bloom needed to lose to take some pressure off me. And yeah, so we'll get to the final match here. Suicune versus Swishy, a 2-0 in Suicune's favor, and my good god, this whole match I was rooting for Swishy. I think everyone wanted Swishy to win, not because we wanted Suicune to lose, which we did, but you know, we needed Suicune to lose to someone to, again, like Bloom, take pressure off me, Six Paths, Joey, and even Bloom in certain cases. Swishy was definitely the fan favorite to win this time, and she got PP stalled. She got PP stalled by a Calm Mind Suicune. Basically what happened is Lantern versus Suicune. Lantern wins every single time because of Water Absorb. However, because of pressure on Suicune, its ability, making it so that every time you use a move, it doesn't cost 1 PP, it costs 2. He was able to stall out Swishy, and eventually Swishy had to struggle. It was a 2-0 because Suicune and Keldeo survived at the end. Suicune was just set up on the thing, and another thing that comes through about Swishy, you'll notice, again, it comes back to the fact that she has no wall breakers. Her team's complete stall, and usually that works, but even those teams have a few, like they have a Darmanitan. She doesn't have a Darmanitan. She doesn't have an Entei. She has a Landorus, but even then, she brings a defensive one. Or sorry, a Choice Scarf one, which doesn't hit as hard. I understand why. Choice Scarf Landorus is great, but still doesn't hit as hard. So I don't know. It's very, very unfortunate for Swishy. I think she could have won, but if it came down, she could have won if she dealt with the Suicune earlier. But you could always say, like, how would she do that? You know, she had no way of killing the Suicune off the bat. She could wall it, but she can't kill it. So that's the matches. It was definitely an interesting week. We're gonna get to the Team Magma here. Actually, this is week 8. Whoops. We're gonna get to the scores right here. I believe is it up here? No, it's not there. Whoops. Right here. So we're gonna start off with Team Magma. So the Richmond Hyperiors are sitting firmly in front, followed by the Kentucky Combustions. Under that is the Manchestnut Skiddies, followed by Long Island Rufflet Riders, Cubchoo. Jay is just beneath that at number 5. Pant, to be decided because he hasn't picked his team name yet, is under that at 6. South Florida Celebes, coached by Zen, is under that at 7, with a -11 differential. And then you have Steven, the LFC Ludicolos, at -26 under that. Definitely a race. The thing is about Team Aqua is that most of the big matches have played out. We've already seen Suicune versus Joey. We've already seen Six Paths versus Joey. We've already seen me versus Suicune. We've already seen me versus Six Paths. You know, they've all kind of... At this stage, Aqua is starting to calm down a little bit. All the last few matches, just building up differential, are starting now. But Team Magma is still in the middle of a huge race. So basically, you know, Jay still has to face Doric and Kraft and Steven. Kraft still has to face Jay. He has to face Zach, I believe. He has to face Cubchoo. Still, all the huge matches have not happened yet, and I feel like that's why the Magma Conference is so exciting to me. I feel like it's going to be amazing in the next few weeks, finding out who goes to playoffs. Remember, only top 3 go through, and you could make an argument for the top 5 people there. Hyperiors, Combustion, Skiddies, Riders, and Munchlax. Like, you can make the claim that all, like, because even Jay at number 5, if he wins the next 3 of his matches, he's in, because he's playing Cubchoo, which is 4, Kraft, which is 3, and Doric, which is 2. If he beats all of those, boom, you know, he's in. If Zach was to lose to someone, you know, like, may say Pant, or even to Steven, which I don't think he will, because I think he's already played from the other coach, but if that was to happen, I think that, like, everything could mess up here. Like, it definitely, anything can change. Nothing is set in stone quite yet, and the matches are just going to get more intense every single week. It's going to be very, very exciting. So, we're going to move on to Team Aqua, our conference, your Cork City Cordillies. We're sitting at number 4, which makes me really, really happy. Honestly, really, really happy. We're just on the cusp of making playoffs, guys. We're just at the cusp. You see Joey at the top there. He should be. Joey has been playing magnificently. He's been definitely underrated himself because, as you know, Joey runs the league. So in the power rankings and in the scoreline and in the way he talks about teams, he obviously doesn't want to boast about himself because everyone gets sick of him. So he's obviously been kind of holding back from putting him at the top spot, even though I feel like he should have been there a long time ago. Suicune is number 2 because he beat Swishy in such a demanding fashion. Six Pads is number 3 because he lost to us. We're number 4 because we were number 5 before, I believe, under Bloom, but because Bloom lost and we won, while we have a worse differential, we have 5 and he has 6. Our record is better. We have 4-2 and he has 3-3. By the way, guys, those numbers in the brackets, that's our in-conference battles. I didn't know that. So we've had 4 battles in our conference. We won 3 and we lost 1. And Bloom has had 4 battles in the conference. He's won 1 and lost 3. So that's what that means. I didn't know what it means either for a long time. But the top 3 are definitely huge. We've played 2 of them. We face Joey next week. And that game will decide it all. If we can beat Joey, I feel like we're going to playoffs. If we can't beat Joey, we're out. So, I think that's all I'm going to say. I'll show you just a sneak peek on who are going to be playing next week. I'll just throw it up on the screen. I won't give my analysis because obviously we're going to do a preview for next week. But I'll show it up on the screen just so you guys know who's playing. You have really exciting matches like Jay and Kraft, me and Joey, Six Pads versus Bloom. And then you have Zach versus Cubsy, which is also huge. Doric, which is Pant versus Pant. Pant may be able to pull something out of nowhere. Zen versus Steven. That'll be interesting to see how the members that cannot make it to playoffs play. Do they play for fun or do they really go for the win? So I feel like week 8 is going to be a huge week. I said from the start I was so excited for week 8 to play Joey, and now I'm not too excited because I'm going to lose. But if you guys are excited for week 8, make sure to check out the preview that will be going up on Friday. This is going up on Monday, hopefully, if I'm not a dumb. And with that being said, this has been all from Aggronix. Don't worry, guys, it won't just be me in the preview. I just didn't want to do this because I needed to get a video out fast. This has been a bit shorter. It's only been like 23 minutes. Just because, like I said, there was a lot of issues. Me and Kraft and Joey wanted to do the video, but the video kept crashing and literally no explanation. I've been recording for almost 22 minutes now and it hasn't crashed, so I'm gonna take it as a sign my computer doesn't like me. So I'm gonna get out of here, guys. Remember, make sure to have something like one down below for us. If you're still rooting for your Cork City Credillies, make sure to say hashtag Cork City Credillies in the comment section down below. Make sure to subscribe for nudes. With that being said, I'm gonna get out of here. I love you guys so much, and this has been Aggronix.